Hey, hope you're well. In this video, I'll be showing you the end-to-end process for how we scrape leads inside of our own agency using LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced. So there's a couple of things that you need to get started. The first one you need is obviously LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced. There are different versions of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There is a basic one and there's an advanced one. The basic one allows us to look for specific people in different industries. So if you use the filters, you'll be able to find people who work in, let's say, the marketing industry. So that works because you'll be able to come up with a lot of contacts. But the downside of that method is you may get a bunch of people who are not necessarily founders running marketing agencies. Maybe they're running some form of other company, a PR firm, for example. So that's what happens using LinkedIn Sales Navigator Basic. What we do is we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced. And the idea is, number one, before we even jump into LinkedIn, we will be building out a list of companies inside that are marketing agencies. We'll take that list and import them into LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced to then find the people who work at those companies that we found earlier. So that strategy itself is a lot more effective because the only people who will be included inside of our list are the people who work at those companies, not people who work in related industries, but people who only work at those said marketing agencies. So that's the first thing we need, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. The second one that we need is this extension called Instant Data Scraper. It is a free extension on the Google Chrome extension store. And the last thing we need is an extension called Client Scraper. Pretty much that is just an extension that helps us to scrape LinkedIn. So let me just open that up. Client Scraper. So you will just want to set up a subscription for Client Scraper. I do have a coupon code that you can use that I'll give it to you to scrape the leads. We see that I have used this a lot of times to scrape a lot of leads in a variety of different industries. So this is a process that I'm extremely familiar with. And I'm telling you, this works extremely well, and it's a very powerful strategy. So the first thing we want to do is, let's say we want to work with marketing agencies. This happens after we have identified who and what industry we want to target. This could be recruitment agencies, software development agencies, PR firms. For the purposes of this video, we will be using marketing agencies. So you just want to search top marketing agencies in USA. I'm in Toronto, Canada, but we will do USA. These are all different directories that should all work with this process. For the purposes of this video, I will be using Clutch. I strongly recommend you use it as well because Clutch is basically a directory with, as you can see, a bunch of different industries. There's IT services, there's development, marketing, design, business services, and it's just a bunch of different companies. We see that we have identified 27,000 marketing agencies inside of Clutch that we could use. You could play around with these filters a little bit. For example, services, there's a bunch of different stuff that you could use. Let's choose advertising, right? For the purposes of this video, we'll choose advertising, marketing agencies. So once you have this up, what you want to do is, these are all the different companies. What you want to do is just open up Instant Data Scraper to scrape this website. You just want to fire that up, and then once you have that, you just want to press, make sure you have the right table, of course. So the company titles, we have that. You just want to press start scraping. You want to scrape as many as possible, but for the purpose of this video, I'll only do, let's say, this much, right? It's pretty quick. We have already scraped 200 of these. You want to scrape as many as possible, but again, for the purposes of this video, I'll only scrape 250. Once we have that, just press this button, copy all, and you want to bring this into a Google Sheet, paste it in. And we see a bunch of these different categories. What I like to do is I like to format this Google Sheet because it's just a lot of information, most of which is not that relevant to us. The only ones that are relevant is company title, company information, and if we scroll to the right, the website links. So we will delete every single row that is not those three we have identified. So, and you could do this your own way. This is just typically how I format it. And how I get my team to format it as well. So now we have company title, company information, and the website. This is good. We just want to download this as a CSV file. And then the next step is we want to hop into LinkedIn Sales Navigator again This process only works with LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced. If you have Sales Navigator, the basic plan, this will not work. If you don't have Sales Navigator, this will not work as well. So once you get this, you just want to pop over into this account tab, press upload accounts, press continue, browse for the spreadsheets. So this is the one that I just downloaded. It's uploading, and you know it's successful when it asks you to map the column headers. So account name is the company name, company title. We don't have this, we don't have this, we have the websites. And these are the only two categories that I typically map. It's very accurate because it is LinkedIn, and most, LinkedIn is the largest social platform for business owners, right? So just press continue. We could call this marketing agencies. Press finish, and this should upload. So we see that I have done this many times. On this account, I have done this a couple of days ago for a client called Strategic Search, right? So we see that it is uploading. This might take a couple minutes. I will pause this video and resume once it is ready. Okay, awesome. So I have just resumed this recording. We see we have uploaded 249 marketing agencies. It has uploaded. What you want to do is, before we start scraping it, pop into Client Scraper and create a new folder just so it's a little bit more organized. We see all of these that I have scraped in the past. Right? We have done this process a lot over the past few months. Let's just create this as marketing agencies. Right, so it's created. What I'd like to do is create a new list. We'll put the date. So today is October 24th. Create this list. And what you want to do is pop back into LinkedIn. What then you want to do is press up here, press the lead filters. So these are more of the company accounts. What you want to do is you just want to add in this list that we have created. So under workflow over here, you click on account list, and we see the different ones that we have created. We just called it marketing agency, so we'll include that. So of those 249, we see we have generated 34,000 contacts, 34,000 people who work at these 249 companies. But obviously, that's not completely relevant, right? Of these 34,000, there's only a handful of CEOs, a handful of founders. There's 249 companies. There are not 34,000 founders. Realistically, there might be, each company has 1 or 2 or 3 founders, but that's about it. And those are the decision makers we want to email and contact. We don't want to contact all 34,000. So we have the marketing agencies. What then we want to do is we want to click on current job title. And again, let's say for the purposes of reaching out to sell our lead generation services, we realistically only want to talk with a handful of decision makers. Let's say those are founders, co-founders, CEO, right? So we have these three with 672 results. You can add on to this. You can add on, depending on, the type of companies you're reaching out to. It might be head of sales, head of business development, chief sales officer, VP sales. We've seen head of growth to be a pretty good one. Head of growth. So we have 705 people from those 249 companies. So you can add on to this however you want to. Just play around with this. These are just generally the different decision makers that we have seen work best to reach out to. And what you want to do after this is you can play around with more filters, depending on where you get your list from. Maybe not all of them are in the US. You might want to play around with that. So let's say we do that, of that geography. Let's say we only want United States. Now this list is at 483. So let's say this is good. This is a good list of people. We want to reach out to these people, the CEO, the co-founders of these companies. What you then want to do is open up Client Scraper. It should be in the bottom left after you set up Client Scraper, and install it as an extension on your Google Chrome browser. Just open up Client Scraper. What you want to do is refresh my list because we just created that folder. I do have a lot of these, so we have to find it. So it's under marketing agencies 1024. We just created this list. And now what you want to do is press on this blue button, extract emails from this search. This process does take a while. What we have found is per 2,000 to 2,500 of these leads, it does take roughly half an hour. Now, obviously, LinkedIn always changes and the limits are a little bit different. When I first started using this process, I want to say beginning of this year, in January to February, the cap was scraping around 15,000 leads per day, and you could do this across multiple browsers. That has lowered in the most recent months. You have to take it very slow, very strategic, and we have seen to hit the scraping limits of around 2,500 to 3,000 leads per day. So that is what you want to be doing. Just as long as it's scraping less than 2,500 people per day, you should be fine. So this is what we're doing. We see that we're now on page 2. They have extracted 25 leads, so there's 25 leads per page. Make sure when you're searching these results, I know obviously this one says 483. Don't scrape results with over 2.5 thousand results because Client Scraper tops out at 2.5 per scrape. So if let's say you have 15,000 plus people, you want to sub-segment each of those lists. You might want to scrape CEOs by itself. You might want to scrape co-founders and founders by itself to really narrow down that list to bring it down from 15,000 to smaller list of 2,000, 2.5 thousand people, right? So we see that right now we have scraped 25 people. It's about to be 50 people in 2 seconds. Oh, okay, so yeah, so this is a process that it just scrapes. You have to give it some time. I will resume this video once we are done scraping. Awesome. So those leads have finished scraping off of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Let's head back into Client Scraper, refresh this page real quick. And then we head into the folder, so marketing agencies. We do see we have scraped 450 contacts. Of that, there's 385 emails found. That is pretty normal. You don't always get, if you're, let's say, scraping 1,000 people, realistically, it's very industry by industry, but you might only get, out of those 1,000, maybe 750 emails, right? So that is very normal. So what you want to do is just press download in CSV. You download that, head back into Google Sheets, and you want to import, upload. This is the Sheets, right? So it's just uploading now. Append it to current sheet, import data. And we see that we have 386 emails. So this is the data that we have received off of LinkedIn. What then you want to do is you obviously want to format this and then clean these emails. So we typically keep all of these rows. We remove middle name because we don't need that. Company name, company domain, we remove this. We don't need that. We have the city. And then we remove these 3 rows, and then you can obviously move these rows around to how you see fit. We typically put first name, last name first. Emails, we remove secondary email. Whenever we scrape LinkedIn, it always gives us 2 columns of emails. We don't necessarily need email second, we just need email first. We have the phone numbers. These are usually either cell phone numbers or direct numbers in case you want to call them. These are company phone numbers in case you're unable to reach out to direct phone numbers. We typically move them over to the end. This is their LinkedIn profile. So we'll rename this LinkedIn profile URL. This is the job title we put here, right? Company name, and then company website is here. Company website, and you see how I'm just renaming this. You don't have to. It's just a lot easier for us to see what's going on. And then what you want to do after this is you just want to upload this into Million Verifier or another email verifier website. I will make a separate video on that. And then once we clean these emails, we'll be able to upload this into smartlead.ai and start contacting them over email. Or you could cold call them, however you want to approach that. So that's pretty much what you want to do to scrape leads end to end using LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced. We have walked through that process. Yeah, so hopefully that clarifies that and you'll be able to start doing that yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.